Look at this, folks. We are back here for another edition of whatever we're going to have to call this show. I'm joined once again by
A
Linda
mismatch.
G. Yeah, Linda G, the Comanche psychic, all the way from Northern California. How are you, Linda?
I'm good. I'm good. And I'm freezing.
Yeah,
It's
we heard.
cold out here.
It's cold here where I am, too.
Yeah. But I don't leave the heater on like I was telling you guys because my son is still in bed. And what happens is his room isn't, very large. So it'll really heat up and the rest of the house is freezing cold. So I have to struggle.
Yikes.
Get my banky.
Oh, yeah. A little Linus action here.
There you
Well,
go.
thanks for being with us again. I'm looking forward to spending some time with you. Again, it's been too long. And Annette, of course, as always, Annette Dion is with us once again. Annette, you're becoming a regular here. This is pretty much what I do with the bridge.
I know. We're making it happen.
May I make a mention real quick?
Sure.
Sure.
I had a reading last night with Annette, and I really liked it.
Oh.
I
You
just
really
told
liked it?
Mel. I just told Mel. I said I had a reading last night with Annette, and I totally recommend her. So he's going to book with you.
Oh, thank you, Linda.
Mhm.
That was really fun.
I really hoped it'd be great, but it was even better than I thought.
Oh, thanks. What a huge compliment. You just made my day, and it's early.
Because I'm hard to read. You know what I'm saying? She hit me like that.
No kidding.
He says, first of all, you got a big ass head. I said, yep. You're on me, girl. You're on me.
You have a lot of guides too. Very clear. Very clear.
And it's
It
funny,
was
and
like-
ever since I've gotten to know you, Annette, I mean, you've nailed some pretty key moments in my life,
I'm loving the endorsements. I said you'd be very successful.
So, we started 10 years ago today, Bridge Cave.
What?
Yeah.
10 years
Happy
ago.
anniversary. Happy
Happy
anniversary.
anniversary.
Unbelievable. Thank you so much. So, yeah, this is awesome. And I was telling people last night live, Linda, because I'm pretty new to the YouTube world, but just getting to know people like you and the people who are following the two of you specifically, like that group is a special group.
Oh my God, are they not the most wonderful people in the
Yeah.
world? All in the collective consciousness for a higher realm. Nobody knows the bull that we're going through now, but this is part of the world energy. This too shall pass.
Yeah, it's meant to be that we all are joining up together. It is a community. You see the same names of people, so we appreciate it, and
They're really wonderful people.
Yeah.
We're gonna make that a very useful platform for.
And you're not so bad yourself, Kory.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
Trying, I'm learning on the fly. You're helping me.
Our heads are exploding
Yeah.
by now. We better get started.
This is not to scale. This is literally me hulking over buildings behind me. Yeah.
Cool.
So, all right, folks, if you aren't used to this format, Linda, Annette, and I, there's a lot of friendly banter and chit chat, but we get to as many of your questions as possible. I have pages and pages of questions here, and then we just go back and forth and kind of see how the cards fall and what the guides say, and the rest of it. So, all right, Linda, I wanted to start with you. I'm sure the both of you have answered this question a lot, but I think it'd be a nice way to start the show and this question is from Julie Hoverak, who asked, when did you discover that you had psychic abilities or a gift, and what drew you to tarot?
Well, my story is I always had sort of a gift. I always knew people were watching me. I just knew, of course it could have been the on stages of psychotic stuff, but I always felt these angelic forms sitting there literally watching me. And I always felt like they were like making sure I wouldn't get myself into trouble. But anyway, but when the cards were handed to me, I was having my hair done by a guy in Laguna Beach. His name was Robert. And we were talking, and I had dabbled in psychic stuff, and I'd had some pretty cool incidents, but we started talking about the psychic realm, and he was a reader. I said, oh, I want my cards read. And he said, sure. So he read my cards. And then he says, you know what? You're a better psychic than me. I'm like, what? He goes, yep, take these cards and practice, play with them. Because I never had any formal training. And so I just started to practice it. Next thing you know, I've got people in line wanting readings from me. Next thing you know, it's putting me through nursing school, but it wasn't my focus. I did it when I found out I could make a little money with it. I thought, oh, this will help pay off this. But I actually, to be honest with you, didn't believe I was that good. And I was good, but not like I am now. And then when my awakening happened after breast cancer, that's when it got.
Really? So, and Lynn, so what was it about tarot? Like, what connections were you making from feeling angelic presence around you to working?
Well, the thing is, I really don't need the cards because I'll hear the answer. But when I read other people, sometimes I find that the cards are like a map.
Right.
Like if sometimes people are so powerful, they tell you what they want you to say. I'll feel something, then I'll say, wait a second. Maybe it's even better than what they tend to be a map. I try not to depend on them too much, and I can't read on myself or my family, but they tend to be a map. They tend to help me understand, because consciously, when I read people, it can take so much energy out of me because I'm really concentrating. The cards kind of give me a break. They show me the story.
Interesting. Wow.
And then I go from there.
Very cool. Annette, how about you?
I knew when I was about, 17, 18, that I just knew too much. I think I told you this before. And I really just, I shouldn't say this, but I couldn't stand people because I thought they were just acting stupid all the time. And then one day I just realized I must be psychic because I'm picking up all this information that I think everybody knows. And so then, of course, I started to frequent New Age stores, and then the first time I ever saw a crystal, somebody was wearing crystal earrings, and I was just like, oh my God, what is that? It just fascinated me. There was something about a crystal. So then I got into going to crystal stores, and we're right outside of Salem, Mass. So you couldn't really get away from tarot cards and psychic witchy stuff. So then I started reading with a friend. Lo and behold, what we predicted playing with the cards always came true. So from there, I moved to Nashville. I needed some money, and somebody, a friend who I was doing readings for, said, you should work in this store. So I started working in a witch store, and then that's where it all began in 1995-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I felt like I knew things that I thought everyone knew.
Can I ask you, do either of you ever feel burdened by this gift at all?
That's a balancing act. I have an ability to just detach. I have Scorpio rising. That's got something to do with it. I don't have a lot of Cancerian, energy, as far as I know in my chart. What about you, Linda?
Well, it really is difficult at times because I want to help so many people, and
Right.
everybody wants a piece of you. And also friendships. I've noticed certain people in my life, it was all about what I could tell them. I even had a friend who expected a full reading on her birthday, every birthday. And then one day I was just tired of it. I was like, you know what? Because I just decided I can't always be taking care of everybody else. And it's
Right.
hard because people will, okay, so this happened, so what do you think? This happened, so what do you think? And I'm not really an on-call psychic. I don't like walking around trying to read people or getting messages. I mean, that weird flash I had of Novani, so I go on the show and I said, I see Novani standing outside, arms up in the air, and everybody clapping and bulbs going off from the media, and he's out, he's free. So does it mean he physically dies and he's free, or does it mean he got released? But I tell you guys, those flashes. Now I can't get into too many. It's like, Annette and I were discussing last night, people what, okay, so when, Linda, when is he coming? When is this going to happen? That's really a hard thing to answer. That's why I like people who do this and do it with an open heart, open mind. Consume whatever the advice they give you, because it's not me, it's them, and then move forward. I can't deal with a constant picking, when, where is he, what time, what day. It actually causes me not to be as good of a reader because I get irritated.
What's your ascendant? Your astrology?
Virgo.
Well, Virgo is the mother and the caretaker, and I can see that. It's a little tricky because you don't want to seem like you don't care. I mean, you don't want to seem like you don't care about the person, I'm pretty well versed in science of mind and metaphysical, you know, like you probably are too, where you just know that the power is in that person to create the reality that they want, and it's up to them. And if they keep coming to us for every little thing, like every
Yeah,
week,
because sometimes I catch myself saying, honey, you're thinking as man thinks. You've got to step out of that and be connected vibrationally into the realm.
yeah,
And every answer, the kingdom of heaven is within
it's
you,
within you,
within
absolutely.
man. And some people have a hard time because they're so used to being reactive, you know. I try
Yeah.
my best to help people look at the light, be in the light, and then go from there. But some people just don't want to drop ego-based, don't want to drop stuff, you know.
We want to empower people. That's what we
Right.
want to do.
And this is a minor complaint, because I will tell you, honest to God, Kory, I have never been happier in my life. And it could be because I'm an old woman now, or it could be because I just don't really give a damn. But ever since I got woke with thanks to cancer, energetically, I always find peace. There's always this beautifulness, this, even with the
Yeah.
crap that's going on, occasionally I'll feel that panic in my soul plexus.
Right,
Like, whoa,
right,
whoa. But also there's this feeling of this too shall pass. So it's kind of a good place to be, because my younger self, like I was telling Annette, if she knew me even 15 years ago, she wouldn't have liked me. Because it was like,
Oh.
enough about me. What do you think of me?
Oh, really?
You know, I was always in ego, always very reactive, you know. But I always wanted to help people. I was a good nurse.
Yeah, that's why I find it hard to believe that it was like all about you ever.
Well, remember, I was raised with a father who just literally physically knocked you to the ground if you
Right.
looked
Oh,
at him
okay.
the wrong way.
Yeah.
So because I'm past that. I'm just describing what I was when I was younger. But I was always very reactive because, by God, nobody's going to tell me what to do or talk down to me. I don't like people talking down to me. I even to this day have a little bit of a knee jerk, you know, like if I'm talking to someone, customer service, and they're rude, oh, look out, honey.
Yeah, I get it. I'm right there with you.
Look out, because I don't
Yeah.
like other people being hurt. You know, my father was broke his femur and he was in the hospital, and they gave him Demerol, and he was seeing people walking in the door. And I walk in and they put him on a plastic mattress with he's a paraplegic. So he has no system at the end of it that's blowing the mattress up. He's literally laying on a piece of plastic, which is wide open for decubitus, which is wide open for infections. I said,
Yeah.
where the heck is the machine blowing them out? Oh, I guess they ran out. I said, get the nursing supervisor. She comes in, she goes, yeah, I guess we ran out. I said, well, I guess I'm going to have to call Sacramento and report you guys, because this is totally wrong. And next
Yeah.
thing you know, they got a machine coming from their Fremont coming into where my dad was, and they set it up. But why did I have to be the one to point it out? There's
Well,
nurses in there. Now they have a new law, by the way. If you go in and your skin is intact and you come out with a decubitus, a breakdown at all, it's up to the hospital that had you or the facility that have you to pay for all your care.
Interesting.
I think we inherently have, and everybody has this to a certain degree. I think people that do this kind of work inherently have this sense of, I need to look out for my brothers and sisters.
Yes.
And if you don't have that, you know, maybe that's a different kind of a psychic, but we really do feel like we're caretakers for humanity.
And that's part of what the breathing of the earth is taking care of each other.
Right. And that's the Virgo rising for you.
Right.
Moon
But I've
Taurus.
learned to limit myself. I know I can't take care of everything.
Yeah. And that you just learn that through practice and experience, because some people will just, you know, bug you and just take advantage of you. And so you have to really just learn how to set loving boundaries.
Yeah.
Be
I don't say
set a boundary, right?
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah,
All right. That was a fascinating question, Julie, and great answers, ladies. I appreciate that. Our next question comes from Charles Carey, who asks, what's the difference between manifesting and chanting? So I don't know if either one of you wants to jump on that.
I'll jump on it because they're two different things. Manifesting is using the whatever, you know, you're resonating at the frequency of, and to attract, because like attracts like. So manifesting involves feeling the feeling of having that which you are wanting to manifest. And then we're literally like radios, you know, like a radio station sending signals out, and whatever it is that we want to manifest, those circumstances, those types of people will be drawn to us because we're literally resonating at that frequency. So chanting is, you know, I feel like chanting is a way to get you there. Like you can use chanting as a great practice. You know, you can look up Om Namah Shivaya on YouTube, or, you know, there's lots of great chants, lots of Hindu chants that are for manifesting too, and for removing obstacles, like Ganesh, the obstacle remover in Hindu. So I feel like chanting is a way to set the energy conditions to be ideal for manifesting, but they're not the same thing. That's
And
my
you know, the way I look at manifestations, you're manifesting every day. And
Yeah.
it's like I try to tell people who I read who have this thought process of life sucks and everything sucks and I can't seem to get a break. And I said, now look at what you're saying. Look at what you're chanting in your head. You're saying it over and over again. So guess what? You're gonna create more of the same. You literally have to change those dynamics by refusing to go there and to actually hand your spiritual realm over to the higher realm, which is all part of the same. And that's when the magic occurs. You'll find yourself stopping. Like if you always think in terms of, I don't have money, I don't have money. Sure enough, guess what? You never have money. But if you think in terms of wealth, and I know it's really hard to do when you never have money, but think, you know, hey, I know money's coming and thank you to the universe before it even gets here, and keep repeating that to yourself, boom.
And if it's not coming in a timely manner, and I know this is true for me in my own experience, spirit's doing something with you. You know, spirit's testing your faith. You know, like I tell people who have wanted to manifest something for a very long time, they're like, oh, well, I tried that. I tried to manifest that. And I just go, why did you stop working on it? If you didn't get what you wanted, why did you stop?
Well, one thing I've learned, and it's really intense, is that, yeah, you can't manifest another person. Like let's say I had a love of my life and I could never manifest him because he has free will. He's like, bitch, stay away from me.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's all about free will.
you always have free will. The other thing is, what is the connection between what you're asking for and your soul energy? Let's say you always wanted to be a great singer. Well, maybe you're a real good singer, but maybe you wanted to be in front of an audience. You wanted to be beloved because you're a singer, because you want that to stroke your ego, because you want to be in show business. You want to be, they look at the details of what you're asking for, always be in grace for what you have.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's a past life that's sitting on you. Like I was told I was an opera singer, a male opera singer at one time, and had my gonads cut off so I could keep a high facade.
I missed that one. I didn't see that in your
We've already reached that portion of the show.
You know who told me that was the psychic twins? Not that I believe everything that was said, but anyway, but there's certain things, like I always thought I'd be in show business. I always thought, I watched that Academy Awards with dreams of, you know, and that was ego-based. And also I was in the business as a child because I constantly had dreams of being on a back lot with a whole bunch of kids. So it's probably our gang or something like that. But I loved these people and I was in the business, but it was like the early 1900s or 1920s, 30s. So I used to always know, but that wasn't to be in this lifetime. So, you know, always be accepting of what they're going to give you, and always be in grace for what you do have. And so I always knew I would be that psychic that used to read me. That was fantastic. She said, I see you standing before crowds. I see you being sought after. So I'm thinking, oh yeah. So she told me this in the 30s. When I was in my 30s, I thought, oh, well, hey, you know, obviously something's going to happen in show business, but it wasn't that. It was this. But it's also working for the betterment of mankind. And it feels so good because it's not surface. Like I used to do comedy, and comedy can be great, and there's a lot of good comedians, but it's very ego based.
Yeah.
And I can't do that.
When I was a kid, I always said, when I was like really young, like 7, I would say to my friends, I'd be like, I'm going to be famous. Aren't you going to be famous? They were like, they looked at me like I had 5 heads.
I think I used to say that too. They'd be like, what? With my big ass head, you know, freckles, big ass teeth. I doubt it, Linda. You look like alfalfa.
Come from the lake. It's like, yeah, but you know, and who knew YouTube didn't exist then, you know?
Yes. Yes, who knew? And it was before a camera. Yeah.
I didn't even really go to YouTube until COVID.
Right.
Really?
But it's just the feedback and the love and that vibration of giving to others is fantastic.
You're famous.
Oh, thanks. Well,
She's going to be
I
famous.
know. But you know what's so cool now? Like I was telling Annette, I said, girl, you wouldn't even like me if you knew me 15 years ago, because it was kind of all about me and I was nothing like I am now. Not that I'm saying I'm so great.
We grow out of that.
When my guides told me that you're going to do a YouTube channel, and I protested, if you can believe that. And then they said, Linda, you'll help calm people down. And the third thing they said to me, if your ego gets involved, we will remove your gift. That's exactly what they said to me. So I went in front of that camera on my computer, not knowing what I was doing or why I was doing it, and just trusted them. And when you trust the higher realm, it's wonderful, because there's so much joy that happens, even physically, spiritually, how I feel all the time. I kind of walk around kind of high sometimes because it's like you're in paradise. When you do this, when you really release all man stuff and more into the realm, like I love my Eckhart Tolle, you know, when you do this and you do it in grace, it's better than Hollywood. It's more, it's more. You're helping other people help themselves, you know?
You know, and I think that I would really like to get the message out to the general public. When you're helping other people, whether it's volunteering, whether it's your work, and you feel like you're making a difference for somebody, even if it's like baking a cake for the lonely widow in your neighborhood. I mean, it's anything like that. It actually creates a physiological, you know, chemical response in your body and in the body of the gift receiver. And, you know, if you work for the betterment of humankind, you will not be tired. You will not be self-absorbed. You'll just be like, how, like Wayne Dyer used to say, how may I serve? How may I serve? How may I serve? When we all have gifts, we all have little ways that we can serve, or huge ways that we can serve, depending on our contracts. But it will raise your vibration. It will give you energy. I am never exhausted after doing a reading. Unless believe it or not, unless somebody talks through the whole reading.
Interesting.
You mean like you don't have a chance to talk?
Yeah, because then I feel like I'm like all pent up with all this information, and they're doing all the talking, and then I'm like, but I have things to say, and it's like exhausting to kind of hold on to it. So just a little side note: when you get a reading, listen.
Yeah.
Don't drain the psychic, right?
All right, thanks for that question. We're on to the next one. We get a lot of these. This is from Bhupinder Singh, who is basically asking for an outlook on crypto. What are your thoughts on cryptocurrency?
What was the name? The name of the person?
Bhupinder Singh.
Is that Indian?
Yes.
Crypto.
Yeah, the comic I worked with name was Kabir Singh. So
yeah. Singh's a very, very popular.
Very popular.
Yeah. You want to take it, Linda? It's your turn.
Well, the thing is that I can tell you the tides of what's going to take off and what's not. Now, you know, they're not all into this. Crypto, I'll be honest with you, it's like speaking a foreign language to me. It's almost like I don't have any kind of feeling on it, nor do I care about it. So I wouldn't be the one to ask.
Interesting. Kory, we got this question before.
You get it a lot.
I think it's going to be 10 years before people will really start to trust crypto, because let's face the fact, if your money can't be seen, can't be held in your hands, only digits going through the air. How comfortable are you going to be with having crypto? Because with one just solar flare knocking out all the systems, where's your money going to go, and how are you going to get it back?
It just
And
seems that most people can't even wrap their heads around the concept of it yet.
yeah, and it's going to take
I
that
can't.
long.
Guilty, Your Honor.
Yeah, it's not gonna, it's gonna take a long time, and now they're gonna have to make a lot of, like backups, or, some insurance programs, or like your money's insured in the bank. But we talked about banks the other day too, Kory and I, and it was like
And
not really safe in the bank either. Buy gold and silver.
dang.
Buy gold and silver.
Well, a lot of people commented. I mean, the banks are FDIC protected, so there's that, but
To a point.
to a point.
Well, it's definitely not as bad as it was in 2008.
Yeah, but that kind of caught people, unless they were really in the know about the economy and what was going on. The average person didn't see that coming.
Oh God, I've read so many people. It's so weird because I don't do stocks. I don't have stocks. My dad has some stocks, and it was a pain of all the stuff that we had to do to liquidate the estate. That was the hardest thing. It's a pain in the ass to remove money out of stocks. And that part wasn't even that much money. But was weird is that I told everybody, this little old lady, I'll never forget her. She said, Linda, I have a lot of money in stocks. Do you think I should, remove it? And I really hated to answer that because it's not my thing. But I took a throw and it said, yeah, move it today. So I told her, yeah, you better do it. Something's getting ready to happen. And that's when
Right.
it crashed.
Right. Yeah, it's good. I've done that for people. It's good when you can do that for people. That's
Yeah.
the beauty of getting a reading too. It's like people act like they're afraid to get a reading. It's like, wait a minute, I might see something in there, like that financial thing that you could totally be avoiding because you got a reading. So,
But the karmic issue that took place that my guys once told me about based on this was that, and I've been married 3 times. So I have had, and I have had not. And my first husband left, disappeared, and I had my daughter. And I know what it's like to have nothing. And I have given away everything I owned. I had housefuls of furniture I just gave away. So I know what it's like to just, you either have it or you don't have it. The thing is not to trip with it, not to hold on to it, because none of this defines me. None of the stuff I have now defines me. I can have it and I cannot have it. Some people needed that lesson to know what it's like to lose it. I hate to say it, but sometimes if you can lose it all, and you just basically look up in the air and say, well, at least I have my health and my family, and just move on.
well, plus if you made it through, then you're less worried about what's going to happen if you don't have it. It's like, it doesn't
And
all
listen,
come.
they, along with everybody else, went through this.
Yeah, it doesn't come from just one place,
Right.
Crypto, no. But
Gotcha.
people invest in crypto anyway. But so we're not like changing people's minds, I don't think. Or maybe. I don't know.
No, not yet.
Are we that influential? I'm not sure.
Time will tell. Okay, thanks for the question, Bhupindar. The next question is from Damon. This is about ETs. Will they openly reveal themselves to the general public and not just particular people?
I feel like we get that question every time.
Yeah, I think people want to shake hands.
And it's going on as we speak.
Who wants the question?
They are vibrationally way higher than us, so they can talk to us without us even seeing them.
I feel like, I don't know what's going on the past couple of days. I mean, we're heading into the sign of Aquarius. The sun's going into Aquarius this week, actually. And with the full moon and everything, I don't know. There's something going on the past couple of days where I'm just like, I really feel them. I don't know if they're, wanting to help us with something, but.
Or they
I
might
really
know
feel
something's getting ready to come up.
Yeah.
Just now, when you said that, you know what I heard? South
What?
Korea and Russia.
Yeah, there's something up that the ETs are telepathically connecting with us right now. Like they're on it. They're figuring something out. And I know, well, that might sound nuts, but the whole topic of ET does sound nuts to some people.
Right.
But I was telling Linda yesterday, I was watching Curiosity Stream, and they have Stephen Hawking and the big astronomer guy that was handicapped. it's amazing when you watch this stuff, what he knew about the universe, what he discovered. I don't know, maybe it's because I've been delving into that a little bit more lately, but I really have this sense of their consciousness, you know, connecting with our consciousness right now. Because something, it might be global climate change too. You know, something really big is going on energetically. And when I went really down the rabbit hole, because this is what we do. We do this work, we just like to think of all these different angles, I think. I really started to ponder, you know, what is this that we're calling upon to help us all the time, to bring us divine wisdom? What is that we're calling upon all the time, by the way?
Yeah.
Is of an extraterrestrial origin? I kind of think so. I mean, glory to God in the highest, right? Christ ascended. Makes you
Right.
wonder. Just saying, it makes you wonder. So I feel that they're very present. The question was if they're going to make themselves known. My answer to that would be to certain people.
Yes,
certain,
that vibrationally can handle it.
yeah, that are ready, exactly. Not like they're special, but I did with Kory's, with our show recently, I said that I saw like a special showing also. But that's more, you know, arranged by the government, certain people to get to know and see. Probably not a live alien, but one that's been
Well, there's
preserved.
plenty of people within this government and other governments that have actually had conversations with them. There's plenty of that going on.
I haven't heard about the conversations, but my guides told me when a president gets into office, within the first like week, they're told about the extraterrestrials.
Right.
And there's a space, what? And then they get kind of used to the idea.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff. Okay, thanks for that question,
I
Damon.
wonder what they think of Trump. I'm sorry, I
You
couldn't
already
help
did it, Annette.
Well,
I know.
vibrationally, they don't interfere with free will.
I just wonder what they think of him.
So we allowed him to come in. And so this is part of our lesson.
Yeah, it's part of the learning. We're all in Earth school.
Mhm. All right, moving right along. Here's an interesting question. This comes from Wilk Zyke, who asks, what happens if you die in your sleep?
Is he from your end of the world there with that background? Because he sounds like
He sounds like he's from a German village, you think?
All right. Yeah.
I asked him last night too. Where is he said Germany, or at least it's a German name. Wilk Zyke or Zook.
We got people from everywhere. You want to take that, Linda?
Oh, it's wonderful. They step out and they kind of like first they're confused, especially if family comes in. I think they linger around their body a little more unless they're really high realm, then they take off to the other side. But at first they're confused and then they're fine. But I've seen people drop dead and I can see them standing by their body and people are running and going crazy and they're saying, no, I'm here, I'm right here.
Seen that in the operating room or something? Where did you see that?
No. When I read people, I've seen some beloved person. One of the girls that was supposed to come to my event in Mago in Sedona, she had dropped dead and her sister was describing it. And I could see her pop out of her body and say, oh my God, what just happened? And she tells her, oh, I'm okay. But dying in the sleep is, a lot of people would prefer that than anything else.
That's the way to go.
Yep.
And I think I don't know, my feeling is if you had a good life, maybe you'll have if you were nice to people, maybe it'll be easy when you transition. That's just, sometimes I think about that. But I'm astounded by how often people, loved ones from the other side, come through in a reading, like to the point where I never used to say that I was a medium, and I still really don't say that. But now it's pretty routine now. At the beginning of a reading, I'll be like, somebody wants to come through. Does that happen to you?
Yeah.
And I'm always amazed at how many like little details, even though I know they go to the realm of love and light and they're not their personalities. It's like when they're here, it's like they have a role in a movie, you know? So from the other side, I feel like they're giving me their physical characteristics and, you know, their little quirks and the way they were in life, just as clues for the person that's getting the reading.
Yeah. And the other thing is, they have to feel that's your purgatory right there. When you go over there, you have your life review and you can take it in bits and pieces, however you want to do it, but you have to feel the good and the bad of what you did in this world. And some people were very, very upset because they didn't realize, they were so unconscious while on earth. They didn't realize how bad they treated their children. I'm sure my dad had a lot to go through. But that energy, they have to go through that. They have to look at that and identify that, because it's the whole package. There's no bull over there. It's all truth. But here's the other thing. I had a girlfriend in high school that died when she died. She didn't even graduate from the high school. She died at age 17 of leukemia. I used to go to her gravesite all the time, you know, because she was the first person I'd seen dead. She was one of the kindest, nicest people you could ever meet, just a sweetheart. So I used to go to her grave and mourn over her, because especially when you're younger, if you lose someone when you're young, it's really tough, you know. And I used to visit her. And then I had a friend who was almost 100 when she died. So I was at the same big Catholic gravesite. And I thought, well, while I'm here, I'll go ahead and take some flowers and go over to Terry's grave. So I used to know where she was. In fact, in the old days, if I went, I hadn't seen her gravesite probably in 30 years. But I used to go over and I'd know exactly where it was. Well, this time I went over and I couldn't figure out where it was. And then I asked her, Terry, where are you at? And in the old days, I could hear her say, over here, you know. And I'm like, Terry, where are you at? And there was nothing. I couldn't, and I'm kind of looking. And then I heard a man say, she has ascended.
Yeah, that's interesting. I pick that up too sometimes.
And I was like, whoa. So then I finally found her site by getting hold of the mortuary and finding out exactly where she was. And right next to her was her father, who wasn't there before. And when he said she had ascended, I knew that there was, I mean, you can still talk to ascended beings, but sometimes when it's time to go, it's time to go. And she didn't take another body. She went on to a realm of the God force. It was so cool.
She may have incarnated or something, you know, it's like, you don't know, but I think what you said about the life review, you know, sometimes when I get really upset with people that don't care about, you know, feeding the children and that kind of thing, that are in a position to help feed the children, we won't mention any names. For instance, I know that you've said that, and I kind of feel like if you can step back and just go, that's their karma that they're going to have
to. That's what they tell, because I go to get upset, but then I'm judging them. And they don't, you're not supposed to judge others. That's their deal. If they want to do that, let them do that.
Forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Not what they do.
The law of, you know, karma basically is, I mean, I know that word is overused, but, you know, what you put out there comes back to you.
Comes back, yeah.
It definitely does. And I think it's true about the life review. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, when you guys come visit me when I die, I already got my space where I'm going to be cremated, but I'm being put in a nice, I found a spot. I found a spot that I can have a stand-up head thing. Cause you know, most of in California, especially, you have to have it flat. Yeah, this one can stand up. It's right near. So anyway, it's got a nice, beautiful, I'm going to have a beautiful picture of myself. My young picture. And my sister said, it's going to say Linda G and Company. But when you guys come to look for me and you're saying, Linda, you'll hear, bitch went to hell. In a handbasket.
No way. You've helped too many people. Not happening.
Annette, that's going to be our road trip, Annette.
There you go. Let's do a road trip to see Linda.
We want to see her when she's still in the physical.
Well, we're going to have that, plenty of that.
Yeah.
I want to say one more thing about the other side. You know, we can just go on and on. Most people that have NDE experiences come back in the body, and they always say that they learned that love is the most important thing. And, you know, see my new little thing, love is who we are. And that it's all about love, and it's all about just, you know, spreading love and light. And that's really what the purpose of life is. And most people that have NDE experiences come back in this spirit of serving others, serving their fellow human beings. So it's all about love and kindness. I don't know what's happening in this country. You know, it's like, come on, don't they get it?
You know, we started getting televisions. You start putting the kids in front of the TV.
Yeah.
We're distorted. And all these, you know, a lot of families like mine from the Depression, And people are just hoarding and holding on to what they want. And love is distorted. If you
Yeah.
were not loved by your parents, where the hell are you going to learn it from?
Yeah, and we need to get that into our culture because that's what it's all about. And we don't want to go to wherever we go and be like, I should have been nicer. And it's too late.
Right.
Reckoning, right. Interesting stuff. Okay, moving on. Here's something that is kind of a layup for us today. This is from Liz L, who asks, any major medical breakthroughs this year, non-pandemic related?
We talked about that a little bit the other day. You want to take it, Linda?
Well, I definitely feel something with the brain, like Alzheimer's,
Yeah,
Parkinson's,
did
that kind of thing.
Mhm.
I had a Alzheimer's deceased man tell me, I was reading his daughter, that they would eventually come up with something that they can give people. I thought he said 2 years, but it might be 20 years. But anyway, something that they can give people that doesn't necessarily cure it, but prevents it from getting worse. Once you've identified it, you take this particular meds and you don't get worse.
It slows it down, right? It slows the progression. That's what I get. And I think that's this year at the end of the year.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah, maybe start of next-
2022.
Yeah.
I kept
think
seeing 2.
Yeah, I think it's this year. I think it's the end of the year.
Oh my
But
God.
I think I think that they're already working on it. I think it's a pharmaceutical, like a pill.
Wow.
Maybe-
Can I tell you something else?
Yeah.
Used to keep a very strict dream journal. I've had some weird dreams, mostly about fighting evil, and I always win, thank God. But I had a dream that a higher realm person told me, you have something magnificent to do in 2022. And this was in the 80s. I had this dream.
Oh, wow.
I wrote it down and I thought, oh my God, just recently I saw it again. Something's going to happen with me this year. So I don't know what it is.
I know.
What is it?
Well, I already told you. You had a reading.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
You want me to tell everyone?
Yeah, you can, but I just thinking maybe I finally get laid, but go ahead.
I see that
I had
too.
three
No, I don't
punchlines for
really
that. But
I'm just kidding, you guys. I'm just kidding.
I see success. I see you're going to be a celebrity.
Okay.
More than you already are.
Thank you.
You're going to be very successful.
Very nice.
But that's not my goal, actually. I mean,
Well,
my
it's
goal
just-
isn't to be a celebrity, but if it helps others,
yeah, well, that's what you're doing. That kind of goes right along with it. That's how you're going to be a celebrity.
okay.
So what is the goal, like spiritual fulfillment? What?
Yeah, touching that higher realm. Maybe I even have an awakening even bigger. Maybe I connect with terrestrials, something big is going to happen in 2022.
Cool.
Or I lose my life, I don't know.
We open the door. This is what we do. We open the door for people. We're like, here, come into this world. It's fun. it's
Right.
a lot better.
But having that Virgo, like, I'm a Virgo with a Virgo rising, it tends to be
Right.
frustrating in this alleged
Right.
celebrity kind of energy, because I
Yeah.
want to write back I want to talk to everybody. And it's getting to where I can't handle, I have to hire people to go through all of it. And I
That's
feel
a
bad
lot.
about that because not everybody can reach me, so.
That's a lot of Virgo. Now I get it. I mean, Cancer, the sign of Cancer has a lot of that mothering too, but Virgo just as well, mother,
Yeah,
take care of everybody. A lot of nurses are Virgos.
yeah.
It's a
Can I ask you what, when you said that the full moon is in Cancer?
It
what
is,
is-
yeah.
What is that? Is that like some of this flooding stuff that was going to the
Oh, yeah.
tsunami?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, the tsunami. I wasn't even thinking of that. I was thinking we're on the coast and the roads are flooding today. And it
Okay.
was blowing. Boy, was it blowing hard. It just died down. It's all we have like 2 days in one because it was like really stormy. And then around 12:30 or so, sun came out. I think the birds are chirping. I opened my window a little bit. It's bizarre. But there's a lot of
I'm coming out there to see you guys. I've always want to see where you
Before
guys
it
are.
Beautiful out here, yeah.
But I
This is
stay in
not-
hotels. I don't stay with people. And a lot of my friends understand.
This is not
The
a real
reason I don't
vacation.
stay with people is I like my own bathroom.
Oh yeah, I understand that. Yeah. There's plenty of places to stay, that's for sure.
Okay.
But there's going to be a lot of flooding this year. There's a lot of Neptunian energy. I'm not an astrologer. I forget what it is, but Neptune is like the god of the oceans and stuff and water. And yeah, moon in Cancer, that's, you know, high tides. And the
Yeah.
full moon is pulling the ocean up, and it's
I
just,
feel
you know,
earthquakes too. I really
and
do.
I feel this glacial melting thing is
Oh,
got me very concerned. The other day I said to a housemate, I was like, someday we'll wake up and we'll just see a glacier because we can see the beach from where I am. It's like you wake up and there'll just be a glacier there. And I was like, that I shouldn't say that because
yeah.
I can tell you this, ladies. We've had a lot of questions about glacier melt, right? The Doomsday Glacier, volcanoes, especially New Zealand was a specific ask, and the tsunami as well. Lots of questions about that. Doesn't
yeah,
stop.
yeah, yes, yes, and yes.
Mm.
What do you get,
Yeah,
Linda?
and you know, it doesn't take, I mean, anybody every year can say we're gonna have earthquakes and we're gonna have, but it's gonna be a little bit of Armageddon. It's way different. That's what I started feeling last year, and I told everybody, fasten your seatbelts, because I saw a lot of volcanic explosions. Not that we don't have them, but I saw more than normal. And I saw a lot of shifting of the earth, you know, and you know, it can happen in a twinkling of an eye. The shift is happening as we speak, or
Yeah,
it could
the
take
mag-
another 200 years, but it's a cleansing. Mother Earth isn't mad at us. She's just readjusting.
Mm.
we're in the it's peaking out right now. I feel like, do you remember
Yeah.
when a hurricane was like, oh my gosh, a hurricane? Now it's just like, remember Katrina? Oh my
Yes.
god. I mean, I was so freaked out by that. We all were. And then it's like, oh, there's another, now it's like, it's another one.
Yeah, you can't. And being living near the shore, I worry about Florida. I've
Yeah.
always got Florida going down.
Yeah. So that's what's
And
happening.
on Fort Myers a couple of days ago. That was crazy. Right down
What
there.
happened in Fort Myers?
Tornado.
What?
Touchdown, yeah.
Yeah. When I lived in Nashville, there was one day in 96, there were 16 tornadoes touched down in downtown Nashville. And we were just like, what?
Wow.
It was like, and that was just crazy. And now like tornadoes are all the time. And
Wait a
that was-
second. How and down, because I love Nashville. I went down there for a concert with a friend. Oh my God, I loved it down there. You get your
Yeah.
best grits down there.
it was, I know it's true. It was a long time ago, but it was like very unusual to have tornadoes like that anywhere in the South,
Right.
you know, but it was insanity. And, you know, that was the year the cicadas came, because the cicadas come like every 7 or 13 years. There's 2 different kinds, and they
Right.
make all really loud noise. And I was a piano teacher. I was trying to teach, and I was like, I can't teach.
I
had to
just
take-
watched a show on how you cook cicadas. Apparently it's delicious.
So we thought the world was coming to an end, you know? Yeah,
The
cicadas.
natives loved it when the cicadas came out because it was lots of food. It's very high protein.
Very weird. You walk outside and you just crunch. Your feet
Yeah.
crunch.
No kidding.
Yeah. Weird times.
Jeez. All right. Cool. Moving right along. Our next question comes from Brazilian Crystals, who asks, what do you see for holistic businesses in the future?
I'm wondering if Brazilian Crystals is into this field, because I know that name.
Always inertia, yeah.
For holistic, he said?
Yeah. The future of holistic business.
Well, holistic businesses are suffering right now thanks to COVID. You know, my friend Carol has a shop, very cute shop, that she sells crystals and stuff. But unfortunately, because of COVID, they're suffering. But I see more masses trying to get to places and getting information.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I mean, I feel like if she takes everything online, she'll be fine.
Right.
You got to be online nowadays.
That's that's the way to do it. And she
I-
was meaning to do that, but she didn't do that. And that, yeah.
I feel like the answer to that is it's going to explode.
Well, you know, I
Holistic-
was thinking I had to drive out there to get some of my charcoal because I have clients that have like some negative around them. So there's certain sage I use, sandalwood, stuff like that.
Oh, right.
Charcoal, holy oil I get from the Vatican, all this stuff. And I used to go out to Angel Heart, but then I just put it on Amazon and there's everything that I need. So I said, oh, I just order it from here.
I know, isn't it? It's bad. We're supporting
Yeah.
them. Anyway, just pulled some cards about it. 10 of Swords is people will have suffered too long, too hard for too long, and they'll be exhausted, and then they'll have to pick up the pieces of going on a new track for good health. And the star is like, it's going to be like their insights will be telling them, their intuition will be telling them there must be another way. In some cases, in some cases, if you've exhausted all possibilities and the doctor says, we have no idea what it is, and you've gotten all kinds of opinions, that's a good thing, because then you have to figure it out yourself, and you have so many different places you can go. Like you can go to the acupuncturist, you can go to a kinesiologist, you can go to a chiropractor, you can go to an herbalist. There is so much out there. And the kind of the demeanor of a holistic health practitioner is, for the most part, they will sit with you and they will take an hour, and you know what I mean? They genuinely want to help you, because they're not being pressured by the pharmaceutical companies, sell them this drug, you know. So people are better off, and they're going to get it. There's a mind-body connection, and all we really need to do is support the body, because it already knows how to heal itself. If you had a scrape on your knee when you were a kid and you watched your knee heal, it was like, oh, what's that? You know, your body knows. Like Deepak Chopra once, he said, your body is a pharmacy. And we just need to, you know, take care of the body and activate those natural healing mechanisms. Now, of course, we know some illness is karmic, and it's, you know, there's other variables, but just in general, I've always gone holistic whenever, you know, anything, or affirmations. I'm healthy. And then eventually you feel healthy.
I'm not totally against Western medicine though, because a lot of things, well, let's say Steve Jobs, he tried just doing holistic when he got cancer. And then he ended up getting a liver transplant in Tennessee, as a matter of fact, and ended up eventually dying. Had he taken Western medicine, he might have had a better chance, but he decided he wasn't going to go that way. The only reason, this is why I'm saying this, I'm not too anti, because I'm a nurse too.
Right.
Because there's just some things that we've learned universally through the years that save people. There's just some things like diabetes. There's a medicine you can take to curb your blood glucose. Back in the old days, you had diabetes, it was a death sentence.
Yeah, well,
but it's coming from a higher realm. There's a lot of these doctors will dream it. They'll dream this.
Definitely true. Look at penicillin. You know, I hope I didn't sound like I was negating medical. I just said, if the medical has just said, well, we don't know, it's a mystery. We don't know, it's a mystery. There are alternative things that you can find out. And yeah, we wouldn't even be here if it weren't for medicine.
Yeah.
We've dead from something, right? From some infection or something.
Exactly.
So holistic health, you know, that business, that arena is going to look, remember yoga when nobody did yoga?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, I mean, people thought, what's
and
that?
Look at all the stuff we can get on YouTube. Isn't that fantastic? All the readers, you can even go talk to specialists in certain type of diets and talk about, you know, not everybody's going to be correct, but still we have that plethora of information.
And if you can tune into your body, and that takes practice to tune in, to literally ask your body, what's up? You'll actually answer.
Well, you know, the connection with your, remember I told you that I don't see my guides in physical form. I don't see a face. I see light beings.
I don't either.
And I was reading this just recently. I got introduced to this book, and I listened to books, and they were talking about that light being inside of you, that you have your external being and your spirit being. It's literally an outline of you. And in that being is every single memory of other lives. It's all together. So when you exit, you take that being with you. And depending on how healthy you were spiritually, the brighter it comes. Like when George Harrison died, his wife said the room lit up. Yeah. Because he had done a lot of work, you know, and he boom. And that's what they're saying about what happened to Jesus. Jesus, because the mystery of the Shroud of Turin was just that his light being came out. And it's like it's not radiation, but almost like it, but left the imprint on that piece of linen that was on him. And so they say the more you're connected, the more you concentrate, the more you're quiet within yourself, the kingdom of heaven within, the easier your transfer is once you do cross.
You know, a lot. Are you comparing George Harrison to Jesus? I haven't heard that.
No, but Jesus had it too. He was a human being with a light source inside.
I think John
And
Lennon
George
did that
Harrison
once,
did a
though.
lot of work, and he really
did.
learned to let go of things. He just said, you
Really
know,
did, yeah. I feel like he got to a place where it's like these humans, you know, like that bumper sticker I used to see that says, beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life down here. Did you ever see that? It's an old one.
Oh yeah. See
but
those.
you know, the cool thing about him is he wasn't judgmental either. You know,
No,
like
but
I
that's
told
part-
everybody, we can't be mean against Trump, even though we want to, because he's so god awful.
I don't
But
enjoy
the
it.
more we energetically condemn him and judge him, the more we hurt ourselves.
Yeah,
So
and
you
that's a-
almost have to let it go. You almost have to let it all go. And like that's what George Harrison, that's where he ended up. You know,
Yeah.
whatever you need to do to get where you need to go.
we're all at different stages of our evolution too. So, you know, some people gravitate towards the light and just invest a lot of energy and time into that, and some will just not be interested. But it's not like one's better or worse.
Right. But Annette, you're definitely moving towards it because your being is very light. It's not just because
Oh,
you have
thank
light on
you.
you now, but I can see it from your eyes.
Thank you.
And you too, Kory.
Mm.
There's a certain light that I see that now I realize what I'm seeing is their spiritual realm coming out from inside of them.
And you have it too, you know.
I do? Okay. I just thought I looked like alfalfa.
It's like moths to a flame.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's beautiful.
Moths.
We're doing a lot of deep diving today. This is fun. So, okay, thanks for the question, Brazilian crystals.
As he takes a swig of his whiskey.
I know. What do you think, Kory? What do you think,
This is
Kory?
fun.
I think
We
this is
don't
great.
We don't mean to
Learning a
bore you.
lot. It's a good time. Okay, our next question comes from Benny Grismore, who asks, any new technology to capture water or use seawater for drinking?
Oh, ooh, that's a tricky one.
Mm-hmm.
You got it, Linda?
Well, the thing is, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, that's why I said it's tricky.
So they are able to change the water to drinking water. But there's a lot of new stuff coming up. A lot of stuff coming up.
Aren't they doing that in LA already? I mean, not with the sea, not with the, I don't think with the ocean water, but aren't they doing that in LA where they recycle the water?
They're even recycling sewage.
That's what I saw a whole program about it. Yeah, and they've been doing that for a while. I don't know how long.
These poor people that think that they can cure the virus with their pee, they're not recycling it, but
I have, you know what? I don't even know what's up with that. It's like, what's going on there? I don't get that's we could just do a whole show on conspiracy theories.
well,
But,
that's what they say, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do.
Seriously, but as far as the ocean water, you know, I've been on my soapbox, you know, being an activist about all the building that they're doing without being able to accommodate people where we live with, because we only have reservoirs here.
Mhm.
We don't have a continuous literal, you know, stream of you know, water source, but then we've been getting all this rain too. So right now it's not a problem. It's a desalinization plant is a huge expense, but just like anything else, it will get cheaper. I'm just concerned about all the toxins in the ocean
Oh, I know. Wow.
going to be able to remove. I mean, it's one thing to remove the salt, but look at all the other stuff that will have to
The
be
radiation
removed.
from Japan.
The radiation from Japan, absolutely. And I heard recently that in Massachusetts there's a retired nuclear plant. I was mentioning this to Kory, and I read an article that was saying they were considering dumping 1 million gallons of radioactive water into the ocean. Like, no wonder we have no fish.
Oh
Or the
my God.
I don't know if that's happened. You really have to kind of research the stuff to see what's going on. They won't tell you. It's invisible. So the water, that's a really big problem. And last year, the summer drought in the Southwest was terrifying because it got to a place where it was like people were going to not have water to drink. And it did get to that point.
Right.
And then the rains came, which was incredible. I mean,
Incredible.
so it's interesting how the universe, you know, the earth.
Well,
does-
Georgia was at that place. Do you remember Georgia being so
Yeah.
dry that they were running out of water?
it's
And
just
then all
gonna
of a sudden
keep
it changed on a dime.
Yeah, maybe people praying.
Could be.
So there will be technologies, but it's like anything, you know, technological, it's going to take a long time before it's affordable. Like
Well,
electric.
the collectiveness of all these wonderful people we read and stuff, we need to start having like what you're doing in that, you know, writing letters, but we also need to all gather together, because I do prayers for individuals, but we also need to do prayers for the world, prayers of healing for the world.
Yeah,
And
I'll tell you-
visualize and put it out there that, you know, we're going to have plenty of water and fish and yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about that, and we are doing it. And I'll tell you more about that at the end when we do our little announcement segment. So everybody has to stay on. Don't hang up yet.
Okay, awesome stuff. Thanks for that. Our next question comes from Michelle Shelton, who asks, are we going to have a female president sooner than later?
You notice we barely have used our cards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has really been, it's been a sweeping conversation today.
It goes faster when you don't use your cards too. If you just bounce off what you're getting.
I know, it's true. And we don't really need them. They're just, for me, I just, you know, we were talking about using cards. For me, I'm at the point where I don't need them, but they're just fun to look at.
Yeah, I like them because they kind of give me the map, you know.
They do, yeah, they tell this, it's like a storyline, and that's how tarot originated, was like originally in Italy, when people started to, you know, just develop tarot card reading, they would make up stories. It was a way of storytelling.
But Annette,
That's
you
what-
have that one deck where everyone looks like a Latin lover, and it always throws me off.
Yeah. This one, the Cosmic Tarot.
Now I've noticed, but other people have mentioned, is the deck you normally use, is that called a Hudes deck? Hudes?
Well, see, I've been using this one,
Cosmic Tarot.
the Hoods deck, HUD, and I think it's out of print, and this is the back of it.
Mm.
But I was asking Linda about them last time. So somebody online, thank you, I forget who it was, found them on eBay and told me the name, because I lost the box. HUDES. I'm pretty sure they're out of print. But these are so pretty. The colors are really nice on these. But the other is the Cosmic Tarot. I think that this is out of print also. I recommend this one if people want to learn how to read cards, the Rider-Waite deck.
I like that deck.
Yeah, I did teach a class at a castle last fall. I'm going to do that again this fall, I think, with this. So it's literally called the Universal Rider-Waite.
Mm.
Doesn't always say universal, but it is called
Like
that.
Morgan Greer, because the pictures are real big.
Yeah, I think I've read so many decks in my career. That one sounds really familiar.
Will there ever be a female president? I'm looking.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely guaranteed.
I guess the
Absolutely.
question is, how long do we have to wait?
Yeah.
That's the problem. We don't get how long. Time is not over. Oh my God, we're going to be very happy with whoever she is.
Yeah, because it's way overtime. Enough with the, you know, nothing against old white men, but come on.
Hey.
Come on, you're not old, I don't think.
I don't know the time frame.
Didn't we saw Stacey Abrams being president.
And she comes across as the Queen of Pentacles, which means dark woman, a dark skinned, dark haired woman.
I'm getting the number 8, maybe in 8 years.
Maybe in 8 years.
Jeez, can I just tell you something? So I kept part of that question out. And Michelle's specific question was, will we have a female president within 8 years?
We're
Oh,
psychic.
wow.
Actually was the question.
We can't help it.
Jeez.
Well, maybe she's psychic too to even mention that.
Yeah.
Well, did you pick up Stacey will take Georgia? I do. I think she'll take Georgia.
Yes, but we have to fight really hard to
Right.
get them to stop. These Republicans are fascists. They're trying to stop, I mean, the bad Republicans, they're trying to stop the vote from being counted. The
Yeah.
votes, so you go and you vote, and then they're gonna stop. You know, remember Trump was gonna like stop the count? I'll never forget that day. I was watching people go, you know, after the election, stop the count. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Of course you have to count the votes. So they're trying to eliminate vote counting. We really have to figure out what Stacey Abrams is doing on that front.
Yeah, but listen, not only is she going to win, she'll change things in such amount because people are too happy, which means she's going to end up running and go by a landslide.
Mm.
She'll win by a landslide.
We're going to really be learning to appreciate democracy and to stand up for it, because for the lack of democracy that's going on right now. Everybody off the couch.
Yeah.
So we have about 5 minutes left. I know, Annette, you
Okay.
have a quick appointment. Linda, you have
Well,
an appointment as well.
I can go a little longer than 5 minutes, maybe 10.
Okay. Are you okay with that, Linda?
10
Yeah.
minutes?
Okay, good. Okay, so the next question let's get to is from Mary Morris, who asks, when you dream about someone who has passed over, is that person reaching out to you?
Yes.
Yes.
That was quick.
That's nice.
Even living people. Sometimes we'll dream about someone we haven't even thought of, and it usually means that person was thinking of us.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yes, I call them visitations.
Right.
A lot of people will say it felt so real, and I just go, because it was.
I also wanted to do in honor of Martin Luther King.
Oh, is that Martin Luther King? I couldn't really tell you. I couldn't really see it, and I thought it was Joe Biden.
He sits on my mantle.
Hmm.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
We're working on it. And you know what I want to tell people too, and let's honor Dr. King today by fighting for democracy. We can channel him. And I've been getting guidance that we need to not get discouraged about what's happening right now with all this racism, because the dark is really angry, and you can see it. The dark is really angry because the light has been getting really, really, really strong. Like that whole Black Lives Matter movement, don't think that didn't move things energetically. And so the dark is going, we need to fight back. And so now they're fighting really dirty.
Yeah.
And it's not going to work, but we have to be on board with it's not going to work. I'm guilty as charged. I get freaked out. I get scared. I think I had a past life in the during World War II. Honestly, I think that I get triggered. My soul gets triggered. I feel like I was there when Hitler was in power. So we do get triggered. Like the storming of the Capitol was like the storming of the castle in medieval times, and it got a lot of people really, really, really scared because we do have these past lifetime triggers. So Martin Luther King, we can access his energy and his spirit, but mostly he wants us to continue his legacy. It's so important. I'll be listening to that, down from the mountain, that talk, or I have a dream, and I could see the promised land, but he knew he wasn't going to get there in his lifetime. He did know that, because that speech was the night before, or the night that he was assassinated.
Right. No, he got assassinated in the daytime. I was at the hotel that he was assassinated on. They put a plexiglass in the room so you can see. They cut the wall out from the room next to him, and you see their coffee cups, everything exactly the way it was where he was shot. And we even went over and saw where his assassinator worked from on a window in a bathroom. And it was just so weird. It was just so weird.
Mm.
It was not very long after he gave that speech that he was assassinated. So I think he knew. I think he really knew. And he was tired. He was young too. He was
young. Yeah.
I don't even think he was 40, was he?
Can I tell you guys something real quick? There was somebody I used to watch on YouTube. They're not a psychic. Just interesting, some history stuff. And I just unsubscribed because he said that, I don't believe in slavery, but I really don't think we should be taking down Confederate statues. And I just really turned me off. I can't judge him, but it was like, you're not the person that I would want to watch, because it's like saying, well, if Germany had a whole bunch of statues of Nazi people and Hitler, but everybody's like, you can't take those statues down.
Yeah,
I know. They were horrible.
I know.
These were insurrectionists, these people, these Confederates. They lost that war. Why do they have to keep acting like it was just so heroic? No, it wasn't.
Well, honestly, I got the hit one day recently that they're reincarnated Confederate soldiers. Those insurrectionists, I really got that really strongly, that they had been Confederate soldiers and their
So they still came over with that kind of hate and repeated it?
Well, some learned and some just didn't, like some people, we incarnate and we're supposed to do better, but we have free will. So some people opt out of doing better.
There you go. There you go.
That's the way it goes.
All right, ladies, we're almost up against the clock. Do we want to end with a community card, a collective community card that each of you can pull for the viewers tonight?
Yeah, do that. We don't know how frequently we're gonna do these shows. We don't know how
Ooh,
generous.
look what I got.
The star, is that the star?
Ace of Pentacles.
Oh, do you have an interpretation of that for
Well,
us?
to me, the Ace of Pentacles is very, for me, it's a spiritual card. It's also a money card, but it's also gifts from the universe.
Oh, I like that. That's for the collective, gifts from the
That's what
universe.
Gifts from the universe. Ask and ye shall receive.
That's a good thing to learn, and believe it and resonate at the frequency of it and you'll receive. Believe. I get the Five of Swords. There are some people I see, well, I'm just looking at the United States right now. There are some people that are coming down. 5 people coming down, being taken off their high horses this week.
Maybe that's what this means. Gifts
Yeah.
could be everybody's so happy.
Truth.
Yes, justice is finally coming. Thank you, Lord.
Truth.
And I like what you say about Annette, about Garland, because I feel the same way. Don't mark them off.
Yeah. You know, what keeps popping into my mind is I do remember, I wasn't following the news as closely in those days, like that's probably true for everybody. But I do remember when Timothy McVeigh, I just remember seeing him in his orange jumpsuit and handcuffs. And I just did a moment like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He was working behind the scenes on Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City, the bomber who bombed the federal building there, killed all those children. It was just horrifying. And, Timothy was a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
So
What was he mad about? He was an insurrectionist, or he hated our government, or what?
Timothy
Wasn't it a
McVeigh-
Republican president in office at that time when he did that?
Timothy McVeigh was the Oklahoma City bomber, and
Right.
America was working on the case. I'm not sure what his position was. I need to find that out. But he was
I have to
working.
look up what his beef was.
He was working. Well, that he had bombed the thing. Oh, you mean?
No, but why? He did it because he was trying to make a statement.
Because domestic terrorism is it's a cult.
Yeah.
It's a cult. It's white supremacy. We are supreme.
Yeah.
We're supreme.
Well,
beings.
listen, all those insurgents that showed up at the Capitol and crapped on things and smeared things on our Capitol. Can you believe a lot of the ways the FBI got their names and numbers? Because they called Pelosi's office to say, did you find a cell phone? Or
Yeah,
did you
I
find
know.
my purse?
Not to mention they all took pictures of each other.
I know.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, you can't fix stupid.
Yeah, no,
Well,
you can't fix stupid.
Well, the violence has to stop. What's come out in the news the past few days about that, the head guy, and the guides told me too, what the insurrection did, one of the side effects was they basically put themselves out on the world stage. The guys that were kind of underground in those underground cells, they were in the wide open, and now we confine them. But anyway, just about Merrick Garland, he's working on it. And there was a lot of stuff, and there still is. Speaking of draining the swamp, like Trump used to always say, there's a swamp in the Justice Department.
Yeah, he had to be careful what he said and what he did, because there was a lot of Trumpsters in there.
Yeah, it would have been.
Did you see us getting rid of Christopher Wray, or why is he still there?
I don't think he's leaving yet. I give him another 8 months.
Okay.
It's a magic number today.
Okay.
8 months.
Beautiful work as always, ladies. That's a wrap for this episode. Linda, I
Thank-
don't know when we're going to see you again. I mean, we can see you all the time on your channel, but I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we should do this once a month at least.
One month feels right.
yeah.
Yeah, one
We
month.
should do this. I'm co-creating, or I've got some beautiful more people to introduce.
Hmm.
There's this one girl that just read for. What I do is I have somebody, and then I have them read for some friends, and then they get back to me and say good or bad.
Oh, that's a good
And
idea.
apparently she's really good. And so I'm going to introduce her. And there's somebody, I get a lot to be on people's shows, because I need the exposure.
Oh,
So
sure.
I'm happy to do it. So, you know, so
Yeah,
I
thank you.
did get a little caught up with too many. So I would say like I do Sterling twice a month, but I would,
Yeah.
and I do Mel twice a month. And I think once a month for us, a couple hours is fine.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's great. Yeah, Linda waves the magic wand and you're famous.
I so appreciate it. It's cool. And then Annette, you and I will be on later on this week as we
Yeah.
slip into our comfortable weekly spot here on Bridge
And it's
Cape,
a
which would be nice. So, did either of you anything to talk about before we go?
I have
Anything going
something
on?
really important. The guides gave me this title, Grassroots of Democracy. What we're doing is we're writing letters. We're using one template. We're sending hundreds of letters to leaders. And right now we're working on sending hundreds of letters, thousands when we join forces with other organizations that say for the Fox News advertisers, we're not going to support them as long as they keep supporting this dangerous, violent propaganda. And if you want to join, AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Just type AYE like you're voting in Congress. Just type I to say that you're in on Grassroots of Democracy. And we'll have a Zoom meeting this Thursday. That's the 20th,
Yeah.
7 Eastern. So I'm doing that. And if anyone wants a reading, AnnetteDionPsychic@gmail.com. That's what I've got.
And happy, well, not happy, but happy birthday, Martin Luther King.
Yes, happy birthday. He's helping us.
He's helping us.
Tune in.
Thanks again, ladies. That was a
Bye, you
pleasure.
guys.
Bye for now.
I'm going to work. See ya.
Bye.